I'm playing with fire. I'm getting so close. Got so much desire. So I am never letting go.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So finally we have a special guest, Mr. Harnoor Singh. Singh in USA, आपने बहुत लोगों ने इनकी channel already देखी होगी. He's a very popular YouTuber. और उनके YouTube पे बहुत सारे useful videos है जो आपको definitely check out करने चाहिए और उनको Instagram में भी follow करना आप लोग. So firstly, I don't think he needs any introduction, but let's go ahead and Harnoor, if you can give a short introduction about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Harnoor. I recently finished my undergrad and master's in the US and then became jobless for 2.5 months. and and then I'll be starting finally my job as a software engineer in like 1.5 months more.
That's awesome. So he runs a YouTube channel called Sing In USA, and just a awesome resource for all the international students who want to study in America, especially for all the Indian students. So I'm gonna straight go into topic like questions. I have received a bunch of questions. I've also added some of my own questions. Maybe you'll be able to answer a lot of them. So you're studying computer science, right? Now,
Yes.
one of my questions is there's this big cultural thing for Indian students that when you go to America, आपको computers के related कुछ करना चाहिए या तो computer या तो engineering करना चाहिए. Now, personally, I'm a physics major, so I was a physics major, but now I'm changing to MIS, by the way. So Management Information Systems. और मेरे को अभी तक कुछ coding नहीं आता. Like literally, I'm zero at coding. मेरे को कुछ coding नहीं आता. Do you think that but I have a lot of other business skills which I'm good at, recruiting, marketing. So do you think कि अमेरिका में सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए आपको कोडिंग आनी चाहिए या फिर एटलीस्ट लाइक कंप्यूटर्स के रिलेटेड थोड़ा कुछ आना चाहिए कि फिर you think that there are also other industries which you can tap, something like business, finance, marketing, जिसमें आपको कोडिंग की जरूरत नहीं हो सकती? Do you think these students who come for different types of degrees are also successful in America in the future?
So I definitely think coding could be helpful, but it doesn't matter after a certain extent because it is all about the impact you made. For example, Sundar Pichai, he introduced Google Chrome, even though he may or may not know coding. He was able to bring out the initiative to start a new project. He knew that कि Internet Explorer ने भी एक search engine launch कर देना, but उससे पहले Google Chrome में उसने search engine launch कर दिया कि Google खोलने वाले सब Google Chrome खोलेंगे. Similarly, if you have like strong impactful ideas and अगर आप एक टीम बना के आपको कोडिंग आती है नहीं आती है, आप एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाओ जिसका इम्पैक्ट बहुत बड़ा है in terms of health, in terms of education, कोई भी आप बनाओ जिसका इम्पैक्ट बड़ा, आपको जॉब मिल जाएगी. इट डजंट मैटर कोडिंग आफ्टर सर्टेन पॉइंट, डजंट मैटर. एंड आल्सो इफ यू टॉकिंग अबाउट MIS CIS, उन लोगों को कोडिंग इतनी नहीं आती होती, बट दे हैव मेड सर्टेन इम्पैक्ट थ्रू द टीम्स दैट दे हैव वर्कड ऑन. So it's more about the impact, but अगर आपको कोडिंग आती है तो आप अकेले प्रोजेक्ट कर सकते हो, अगर नहीं आती you can make teams. So the goal is to become a good manager, good coder, good student, and most importantly, a more impactful person.
Interesting. Even like आपने जो सुंदर पिचाई का example दिया, Sundar Pichai actually did meteorological engineering in IIT, and then at Stanford, I think he studied material science or something, which is completely not related to computer science. But then he ended up in Google, you know. So that's great. So for all the students out there who don't know any coding, just like me, don't be worried. There's still a lot of other fields that you can tap into. और I think यही बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है अमेरिका के बारे में, क्योंकि आप बहुत सारी अलग-अलग fields में जा सकते हो. Similar, coming to computer science versus MIS, I know you have a very detailed video on your channel about computer science versus MIS, और जो मेरे को भी बहुत helpful था when I was changing my major. But is there any latest updates or कुछ आप advice देना चाहोगे कि MIS, I'm changing from physics to MIS. Now आपने बहुत सारे students आपने भी देखे होंगे जो computer science से MIS change कर रहे होंगे. तो इन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए आपके पास कोई एडवाइस है कि ये लोग अपनी स्किल्स अच्छी करने के लिए, because what I know about computer science is that it's more about mathematical algorithms and stuff, but management information systems includes more management. I'm guessing more leadership also. So आपके पास इन computer science students के लिए कोई advices होगी कि जो उनको help कर सके ये transition में?
Absolutely. So I have personally seen a lot of students getting converted from computer science to MIS. So one thing you have to remember is to some extent आपको coding करनी पड़ेगी. You will have to code to some extent, but it will not be that much. But on the other hand, you might be tested more on statistical knowledge. But courses साइड वाइज, मतलब आपको स्टैटिस्टिक्स में थोड़ी बहुत नॉलेज चाहिए, आपको थोड़ी बहुत मतलब मैनेजमेंट की कोर्सेज में नॉलेज चाहिए एज कम्पेयर टू कोडिंग. बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जब आप कंपनी में जाते हो, यू बेसिकली लाइक डू द सेम काइंड ऑफ जॉब्स लाइक प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट या फिर डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट. आप डेटाबेस बनाते हो, सो मोर सीक्रेट नॉलेज या फिर मैनेजमेंट साइड. सो दीज आर द टू साइड्स आई हैव मेनली सीन. एंड अगर आपको एमआईएस में भी अगर आपको डीप डेटा एनालिटिक्स में जाना है, देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ लिस्ट ऑफ मेजर्स यू कैन, the list of fields you can go from MIS, CS. तो आपको figure out करना पड़ेगा, because in US one field can go into many different branches, so you have to figure out which branch you want to go in and then decide. But at the end of the day, most common is project management or some kind of management. So उसमें आपकी communication skills and your personality, problem solving, leadership skills at the end of the day ज़्यादा काम आती है as compared to any of these skills.
True. मैंने ये भी सुना है कि MIS and CIS are really good majors if you want to become an entrepreneur. तो
Yeah.
आपका कंप्यूटर साइंस के उसमें मतलब क्या आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या है? Like after studying computer science, I know a lot of people start their own companies, but then there's also critics who say that these computer scientists know less about actual business management. They know how to create stuff, but then there's a lot of accounting, marketing things that they lack. I understand. I mean, of course, building a big company is a big thing, but then there are also other types of insights. So what do you think about MIS versus computer science when you want to like start your own company and not work for someone else? What do you think? Which one is better?
Sure. So I can tell you, being a software engineer, I know how to make that app. So in terms of generally, software engineers know how to make that app, and CIS, MIS majors, they know how to sell that app. And in the entire software engineering cycle, you should know how to build that app, market, selling, and all that. So if you know all of it, then you can become an entrepreneur.
Got it.
But if you know one part of it, then you are the engineer or project manager. So you have to decide what you really want to be, whether you did CIS, MIS, or computer science. If you can show in your projects that you have done all of it, your major doesn't matter.
Interesting. All right. So coming back to studying. So you study at Georgia State University. You also did your bachelor's and master's. And in one of your videos, you said that you got a scholarship after your first 1 year at Georgia State, right? So I'm guessing you did your bachelor's in 3 years and your master's in
Yes.
the next 1 year, so in 4 years. That is very impressive, guys, because finishing a bachelor's of computer science in 3 years, very few people are able to actually pull that out. Now, my question is, so I was in the same situation. I applied for my freshman year applications in 2017 for 2018. Now, I got a bunch of partial scholarships. I also was I was waitlisted at Harvard. I was accepted to a bunch of other private universities, but I never got a full scholarship. The maximum scholarship I got was 70% at some university in Connecticut. But I wanted to go to California. Now, that was the time where and I had heard that many students get a full scholarship after their first year. Okay. Now, I was in kind of a very delicate situation where should I choose to go to a private university expecting a full scholarship after 1 year, and since like that private university I would not be able to afford it for 4 years, like even after the scholarship, the gap funding, I might not be able to afford it after for the complete 4 years, versus I would go to a community college, which I did, and I would be able to afford community college for 1 or 2 years and then try to get a full scholarship. So I chose the second path, but then I was very close to even choosing the path which you kind of took. If I did not get a full scholarship for my freshman year, expecting or working hard to get a full scholarship in the same university, rather than my path where I went to a community college, then I have to transfer to another university. So what do you think? Did you have enough confidence that you're gonna get a full scholarship after first 1 year, or how did the process work? Were you offered a scholarship, or you had to apply for it
Sure.
or something?
Sure. So first of all, I could have been granted the same scholarship before my first year, and I knew that they give scholarship after the first year. So I had an idea, and I had seen students who were able to pay their tuition after first year on their own as well. So I just looked up to them and then followed their path. And now, to be honest, now it's very difficult. They don't give scholarship after the first year. They only give need what do you say, if you need some
Need based.
emergency fund. So it's not really
Oh,
need
okay.
based, but it's
No. Okay,
kind of
okay. I know
like
what you mean.
all of a sudden you have some financial problem and you can prove that
Uh,
you have your problem for financial problem, and in the last year they can give you in-state waiver, like out of state waiver, and you pay in-state. But they don't give merit-based scholarship after first year in state schools anymore. You have to get the scholarship from your from from before your first year going to college in US. Then you will only be eligible. So things are getting
got it.
changed. But I knew how whose path I'm following on Quora. There are a bunch of people you could have found that who got the scholarship, and I talked to them. So
Would you have chosen to go to a community college if you did not know about this path? Because when it was a big decision for me. So I'm just trying to get your insights, what you might have done.
if considering this time, I would have rather taken a gap year rather than going to community college because I wanted experience and I really wanted to go to research. But talking about that time, if I don't care about research, I would have gotten into community college whatsoever, because if you don't have an entrepreneurial mindset, if you don't like working on your own, getting to community college and saving 1 year is better idea. So
Yeah,
personally, in
that's
my case, I would have gotten in. I have gone in because I didn't have that entrepreneurial mindset in 12th grade. But now you see so many entrepreneurs who are in the ninth grade, 10th grade, and they inspire us a lot.
all right. So next question. What do you think about taking a loan? Because I'm kind of against taking a loan for bachelor's. Maybe for master's is okay. But what are your insights about that?
Me personally, if you're going to top tier one school, it could be worth it, but the student should be impactful from the beginning. If the student is getting into top tier school, he is already an impactful kid. And because if you look into all the profiles of students who are getting into Stanford, MIT, they are half of them are already entrepreneurs. So whether they go to MIT or not go to MIT, they're already entrepreneurs. So it doesn't matter for them to grow overall as a brand. But in terms of getting the knowledge and getting the return on investment, it will be very easy for them, so they can go for it. But talking about tier two colleges, which are not in the top 20, not which are not in the top 20, not in the top 10 list, I think it could be a little bit risky. So you can definitely uh, think and apply later after 1 year if your financial background doesn't allow. You can get into a lot of schools that offer need-based scholarships. There are like more than around 100 schools all over the world without SAT, with SAT, or without even a good score in their board exams, they can still get 100% scholarships. So definitely by taking a gap year, this could be a possibility.
Okay. Now this question is kind of like with from my own personal experience. So I was in California for 1.5 years, and now I've moved to Texas. I feel like that was pretty much fun because I'm starting a new life all over again, like halfway across America. Do you think that you would have gotten, I mean, did you get bored at one university for 4 years? Because I think if I was there at one university, any one university in America for 4 years, I would have gotten bored of that city, of that place, of the same place. But I would kind of like this transition from California to Texas because they have completely different cultures, different life. So that's kind of super exciting for me. And it's like I'm still doing my bachelor's, but then again, there's like excitement in life. Do you think that you got bored in Atlanta for over 4 years?
Great question. I did get bored because if I actually love traveling. So if you see, I have visited a lot of campuses and I really like the culture. If I had gotten the opportunity to study for 2 years in University of British Columbia, that is one of my favorite campus, one of the most beautiful campus I've seen, then it would have an amazing experience. And I already remember that when I was in my grade 12, I had the scores of like the grade 12 scores qualified to be there. So if I had gone there and like looked into study abroad programs, that would have been a better college experience. But if you talk about research, if you wanted to go to grad school, if you want to do later on in your life PhD, then getting into staying in at one school and getting letters of recommendation from the professors, that becomes easier because they know you for more than a year. There are a lot of professors I have taken classes for more than 2 semesters or maybe at least 2 semesters, so then they are able to write a better letter of recommendation which helps us out in the long term. But in terms of overall college experience, yes, moving from one college to another and living in two campuses would have been an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's pretty. Even I think even so, Steve Jobs in one of his interviews I saw, he also went to a community college, by the way. So Steve Jobs
Uh,
first went to a community college, and Actually, so more than 50% of Americans choose to go to a community college. Many people don't even know that. But when internationals
Wow.
think about going to actual like universities, they just think about 4-year university rather than a 2+2. So it's
Wow.
very common, but there's something like we don't kind of know.
Mhm.
Okay, one more question. What do you think about using counselors or agents while doing your application process?
So I think if you're rich and if you have enough funds to go to college, then that means you spend a little bit more and spend, like, let's say tuition fee these days are 30 lakhs, right, per year. And if you're spending like 5, 6 lakhs on a counselor and that counselor can help you get scholarships, then you are saving 1 crore. So it's like 5 lakh can lead to 1 crore of savings if you do not know how to find the best colleges. But if you know how to find need aware, need based scholarships, awards, then you don't have to. But on the top of that, I think there's no harm if you're rich. For example, I remember I talked to an MBA student at Harvard. He also said that like getting into Harvard is super super difficult. That if even if you're spending a little bit of money to go there, you are gonna value it for your lifelong. So he said you will die at the age of maybe 80, 95. So till your last breath, you will value the moments you have spent at Harvard. So it could be worth it. Okay. So thank you so much, Nan, for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I hope all the students should comment down what content you can put next. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna add a lot of value to our community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Harnoor, and all the best with your new OPT life.